Hi, my name is Barbara Vita, and I'm going to read some stories to you. The first one that I'm going to read is Miss Rumphius, and this is the cover of it. And it's Story and Pictures by Barbara Cooney. We have the same name. So there are three things that I really love. I love reading and books. I love helping, and I love children. And I'm assuming that you're a child or a parent of one. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to read it and then I'll show you the pictures. And I need to put on my glasses because I'm getting older and I can't see or read without them. Miss Rumphius. Story and Pictures by Barbara Cooney. To Saint Nicholas, patron saint of children, sailors, and maidens. The lupine lady lives in a small house overlooking the sea. In between the rocks around her house grow blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. The lupine lady is little and old, but she has not always been that way. I know. She is my great aunt, and she told me so. Once upon a time, she was a little girl named Alice, who lived in the city by the sea. From the front stoop, she could see the wharves and the bristling masts of tall ships. Many years ago, her grandfather had come to America on a large sailing ship. And here are the pictures. I hope you can see them. Now he worked in the shop at the bottom of the house, making figureheads from the prows of ships and carving Indians out of wood to put in front of cigar stores. For Alice's grandfather was an artist. He painted pictures, too, of sailing ships and places across the sea. When he was very busy, Alice helped him put in the skies. Here's a picture of Alice painting the sky. Can you see that? Can you see her painting the sky? Right there. In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of faraway places. When he had finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places, and when I grow old, I too will live beside the sea." "That is all very well, little Alice," said her grandfather, "but there is a third thing you must do." "What is that?" asked Alice. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," said her grandfather. "All right," said Alice, but she did not know what that would be. In the meantime, Alice got up and washed her face and ate porridge for breakfast. She went to school and came home and did her homework. And pretty soon, she was grown up. There's her grandfather talking. Do any of you have grandpas or great uncles or people that you admire and love and you are interested in hearing about their past? I do too. Let's see what else is going to happen. Then my great aunt Alice set out to do the three things she had told her grandfather she was going to do. She left home and went to live in another city far from the sea and the salt air. There she worked in a library, dusting books and keeping them from getting mixed up and helping people find the ones they wanted. Some of the books took her about faraway places. Some of the books told her about faraway places. People called her Miss Rumphius now. Sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. When she stepped inside on a wintry day, the warm, moist air wrapped itself around her, and the sweet smell of jasmine filled her nose. "This is almost like a tropical isle," said Mrs. Rumphius, "but not quite." So here she is. She's not a little girl Alice anymore. She's a Miss Rumphius. She's all grown up, and she's in a much like a greenhouse that you would find at Elizabeth Park in Hartford, if any of you have ever been. So Miss Rumphius went to a real tropical island. I have never been myself, where people kept cockatoos and monkeys as pets. She walked on long beaches, picking up beautiful shells. One day she met the Bapa Raja, king of a fishing village. You must be tired, he said. Come into my house and rest. So Miss Rumphius went in and met the Baparaja's wife. The Baparaja himself fetched a green coconut and cut a slice off the top so that Miss Rumphius could drink the coconut water inside. Before she left, the Baparaja gave her a beautiful mother-of-pearl shell on which he had painted a bird of paradise and the words, "You will always remain in my heart." You will always remain in my heart, too, said Miss Rumphius. And there's the nice picture. Isn't that something? My great-aunt Alice Rumphius climbed tall mountains where snow never melted. She went through jungles and across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping, and everywhere she made friends she would never forget. Finally, she came to the land of the lotus eaters, and there, getting off a camel, she hurt her back. What a foolish thing to do, said Mrs. Rumphius. Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it is time to find a place by the sea. And it was. And she did. Oh, the picture. I'm so sorry. I did that once before. Can you see? Faraway places. What places do you want to go to? What places do you want to see? From the porch of her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come up. She watched it cross the heavens and sparkle on the water, and she saw it set in glory in the evening. She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few flower seeds in the stony ground. Miss Rumphius was almost perfectly happy. But there is still one thing I have to do, she said. I have to do something to make the world more beautiful. Remember that? Remember her grandfather said that? But what? The world already is pretty nice, she thought, looking out over the ocean. So there's her new house by the sea. So she's lived as a librarian, she worked, then she traveled, and now she's settling into her house. And she says, I have one more thing, but what's it going to be? She can't figure it out. The next spring, Miss Rumphius was not very well. Her back was bothering her again, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in spite of the stony ground. She could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose-colored. Lupine, said Miss Rumphius with satisfaction. I have always loved lupines the best. I wish I could plant more seeds this summer so that I could have still more flowers next year. But she was not able to. Remember? She hurt her back. How many of you have ever hurt your body? I have. It's not fun. And there she is. She's getting older, huh? She's got a little kitty on the bed, a nice window to look out from. And there's all the winter. That's all the flowers are underneath, huh? Let's see what's going to happen, okay? After a hard winter, spring came. Miss Rumphius was feeling much better. Now she could take walks again. One afternoon, she started to go up and over the hill where she had not been in a long time. I don't believe my eyes, she cried when she got to the top. For there, on the other side of the hill, was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupines. It was the wind, she said as she knelt in delight. It was the wind that brought the seeds from the garden here, and the birds must have helped. Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. What do you think her wonderful idea is? Well, let's see if it's gonna happen. Oh, here's the picture. My apologies. Nice, huh? She hurried home and got out her seed catalog. She set off to the very best seed house for 5 bushels of lupine seeds. All that summer, Miss Rumphius, her pockets full of seeds, wandered over fields and headlands sowing lupines. She scattered seeds along the highway and down the country lanes. She flung handfuls of them across the schoolhouse and back of the church. She tossed them into hollows and along stone walls. Her back didn't hurt her anymore at all. Now some people called her that crazy old lady. Hey, have you guys noticed one thing that's always in the pictures with Miss Rumphius? Have you guys noticed that? I have. What do you think it is? What do you think that's always in the same pictures? Let's see if it's in the next picture, and then I'll point it out to you. The next spring, there were lupines everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed along the highway and down the lane. Bright patches lay across the schoolyard and back of the church. Down in the hollows and along the stone walls grew the beautiful flowers. Miss Rumphius had done the third, the most difficult thing of all. I don't see it in this picture. But she has a cat, and her cat is with her in a lot of pictures, isn't it? Yeah, do you guys see it in that one and I'm just missing it? How many of you like cats? How many of you have cats? I've had cats, but I don't have one right now. My great Aunt Alice, Miss Rumphius, is very old now. Her hair is very white. Every year there are more and more lupines. Now they call her the Lupine Lady. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate, curious to see the old, old lady who planted the fields of lupines. When she invites us in, they come slowly. They think she's the oldest woman in the world. Often she tells us stories of faraway places. When I grow up, I tell her, I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea. That is all very well, little Alice, said my aunt, but there is a third thing you must do. What is that, I ask. You must do something to make the world more beautiful. All right, I say. And here's the picture. Look who's back. Look who's back. Their friend the kitty cat. Huh. That's nice, huh? So Alice doesn't know what that's going to be. But I do not know yet what that will be. But the important word is yet, right? So I want you guys to think about how you're going to make the world a more beautiful place. That's an awful good thing to do, isn't it? Can you think of how you're going to make the world a more beautiful place? Look at that. Lupines everywhere. Huh. It's a nice book, isn't it? I love it. It's one of my favorites. I hope you guys have a really great rest of your day. You take care.